Straight ahead on 12 News, the new high school football scoreboard set to wow fans.
You know, it's a very impressive piece of equipment.
How it will enhance the game day experience and showcase other school activities. Then, a Maple Grove police officer in a crash at the same high-speed intersection. Another serious crash happened last week. But first, a new teen hangout close to home.
If there's a youth recreation sport that can be done in here, it will.
12 News starts right now. Brooklyn Center teens will soon have a new hangout closer to home. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. Brooklyn Center and the Brooklyn Center School District are close to opening a new recreation center next to the high school. As Renee Bonneau reports, it'll be the first facility of its kind in the city.
You already know.
Just a month after moving here from Kentucky, Devontae Roberts has already found a home away from home at Zanewood Recreation Center in Brooklyn Park.
I've been chilling, playing basketball, meeting new friends.
Roberts and other teens who come here on a regular basis say hanging out here beats the alternative.
So kids aren't on the street and doing dangerous stuff like drugs or in gangs.
It's this type of teen hangout that neighbors in Brooklyn Center are sorely lacking until this fall.
I'd love to have it so that on a weekend, it's a rainy day and there's nothing else scheduled and kids just need some place to go and run off some steam. Come on over.
To Keith Lester, this 6,000 square foot white-walled room is the answer to teenage boredom in Brooklyn Center.
If there's a youth recreation sport that can be done in here, it will.
This will soon be home to the Brooklyn Center Youth Recreation Center, a spot that'll hold open gym and other non-school related activities. The school district has partnered with the city to build and run the facility. They used a $304,000 youth recreation grant from Hennepin County to build the structure and will need about $50,000 more to pay for add-ons like bathrooms and sports equipment.
It is the Zanewood of Brooklyn Center in the sense that the reason and the purpose and the use of Zanewood is for youth activities that aren't going on in schools, and that's what this is.
The district and the city will rely on capital bond money and donations to pay for some of the extras that'll go into the facility. Keith Lester is especially hoping donors will come forward to help pay for multi-purpose flooring. But even without a floor in place, Mike and Alex, he says the building should be open to the public for limited use in the next few weeks.
All right, thank you. Should be a good thing. A Maple Grove police officer was taken to the hospital after his squad car was involved in a crash. It happened at the intersection of Elm Creek Boulevard and County Road 81. The officer and the other driver both suffered non-life-threatening injuries. An investigation is underway, and police say it's too early to say which car may have run a red light. This is the same intersection where two men were seriously injured in another collision, this one with a semi, last week.
Brooklyn Center police are investigating an unusual case of gunfire between neighbors. It happened on Friday night in the 1500 block of Humboldt Place. Police say 6 to 10 shots were fired. 2 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police are still trying to determine what the dispute was about, but it apparently escalated when other people from outside the neighborhood got involved. Police say they are still looking for at least one suspect.
Robbinsdale police are warning residents about an increase in theft from vehicles. They put out a crime alert that says most of these thefts are happening overnight to vehicles parked in the street and driveways located in alleyways. Since the end of May, crime mapping in Robbinsdale shows 26 cases of someone stealing items from inside a car. Police are reminding residents to lock cars and remove all valuables when you park it. In stadiums across the country, scoreboards with the latest technology and electronics are all part of the game day experience.
And Wayzata High School is no different. Fans of the athletic programs will see a $350,000 enhancement this year. Delane Cleveland explains.
Set.
As the new season approaches at Wayzata High School, players run through drills on their home field's artificial turf under the August sun.
It's going really good. It's a little hot, but you know, that's what the water's for.
It's during the dog days of summer that champions are built. But that's not the only thing being built on the Wayzata campus.
I think it's really nice. It's actually the same board that the Minnesota Twins have, just a smaller version of it.
Just under $350,000.
When the Trojans kick off their season, fans and players will have a new LED scoreboard, complete with a high-definition replay screen to enhance the game day experience.
It's a big upgrade from the old scoreboard we had, and it's going to be nice to see some of the highlights as they're going on
during the games.
It's a far cry from what they could do with the old scoreboard, which dates back to the late 90s.
Like any technology, that's well beyond its lifespan.
Which is why the Wayzata Athletic Boosters and Athletic Department joined forces to replace the old scoreboard.
The existing football scoreboard actually is obsolete or becoming obsolete and becoming more and more difficult to obtain replacement parts and replacement bulbs for.
So out with the old and in with the new, along with its $350,000 price tag, 82% of which came from sponsorships.
I mean, I guess we earned it with ticket sales and boosters and sponsors and stuff.
But Booster President Matt White says it's more than just a football scoreboard. It will support 7 sports and showcase other school activities as well.
It's a very impressive piece of equipment.
An impressive piece of equipment that players admit they're blessed to have, with one caveat.
Puts more of a target on our back because, you know, like, oh, why is that a big new board? Like, oh, they're so blah, blah, blah. So I guess it just, if anything, it has to make our game even sharper to show that we earned this and that we got to defend the turf, you know?
Well, Wayzata officials say the scoreboard will also be integrated into the curriculum. That way, students involved in video production will not only learn how to operate the equipment, but also create videos that will play during the games as well. Now, Mike and Alex, the scoreboard will make its official debut on August 23rd during a girls' varsity soccer game, so very exciting stuff.
Quite a difference from that late 90s version of the scoreboard, right?
And that wasn't very long ago either.
Yeah.
So.
It doesn't look like a high school scoreboard.
No, it really doesn't.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Don.
Well, Goodwill wants to open a second store in Maple Grove with a brand new building near Elm Creek Drive. Goodwill already has a store on Dunkirk Lane, but officials say it's already a very busy location. There is enough demand in the area for a second store. Plans are tentative, but the new 20,000 square foot store would be built in what is now the parking lot at the old Maple Grove Cinema on 80th Circle near Elm Creek Boulevard. The store would employ up to 30 workers, including people involved in career training programs. The City Council is taking a look at the plans on Monday night. Well, coming up in Business Matters, what $24 million can buy you.
And later in sports, we check in with the Park Center football team as the Pirates look to rebound from a tough season.
But first, a check of your AccuWeather forecast.
There is nothing like the smell of fresh bread early in the morning.
It's all about made-from-scratch bread at Maple Grove's newest locally owned business. 650 loaves of bread were sold on opening day at the Great Harvest Bread Company in Grove Square. Longtime Maple Grove residents Jeff and Tony Fluke are the owners behind this new bakery. While there are about 200 Great Harvest stores across the country, local ownership makes each shop a little different from the others. They'll even create a special bread for you.
We've got hundreds and hundreds of bread recipes, but we kind of pick which ones we think are best for this location and this area. And then as people come in, if they see things that they're favorites and they don't not on the menu, let us know, and we can make them for them.
Another Great Harvest bakery at another location closed in Maple Grove 6 years ago because of the economic downturn. The new owners say they have done the market research and they found a new location just off Weaver Lake Road. So, what can $24 million buy you? In the case of a prominent Brooklyn Park hotel, it's enough to completely transform its look.
In today's Business Matters, we check in at the new Marriott Minneapolis Northwest, formerly known as the Northland Inn.
I mean, we're the newest of the new.
Invest $24 million into a property and you're bound to see dramatic changes.
Basically, the hotel was built in the 70s and it was reflected the 70s.
1 year ago, the old Northland Inn along Interstate 94 was just beginning a year-long renovation from top to bottom, inside and out. Today, the new Marriott Minneapolis Northwest is a one-of-a-kind facility, serving the business crowd and the leisure traveler alike.
We're the only all-suite hotel conference center in the Midwest. So that differentiates us.
The hotel transformation upped the amount of meeting and event space to 50,000 square feet, enough room to handle more than 800 conferences, conventions, and weddings each year.
Here we'll have one of our standard suites.
Each one of the 230 hotel rooms is now a two-room suite with accommodations suited for both work and relaxation.
They can have a separate meeting in the living room area. and close off the bedroom area for privacy. Also great for families. So weekend leisure, definitely appreciate having the separate room.
It's all about the new, but the hotel has not forgotten its roots. While the hotel is completely redone, it still pays tribute to its local heritage, like this restaurant called Wadsworth. It's named after the farmer that once owned this land. The same is true for the hotel's 140-seat Elm Creek Amphitheater, a big draw for the business set.
It gives the presenter a different, and the attendee a different atmosphere.
There's plenty of competition in the local hospitality industry, from Maple Grove to Minneapolis. But Marriott's $24 million investment has given this property new life. The hotel will hold its official grand opening in October. And it really is. If you've been in the Northland, step in the Marriott, and it's a wow.
If you haven't been in there a while, it'll look a lot different.
It's dramatic change, that's true. Coming up, how local photographers see their own town.
But next in sports, meet the founder of this weekend's Maple Grove Triathlon in our Give It a Try series. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with a look at sports, and it is hard to believe how close the upcoming football season is for high school, just around the corner.
Yeah, it seems like they don't have a whole lot of time before they have to be ready. Yeah, exactly, to get showtime nearly here already. It's time to put the pads on for full contact practices now for local high school football teams. And on today's training camp report, we continue our tour of the local Northwest Suburban Conference teams with a visit to Park Center. There's nowhere to go but up for the Park Center Pirates. They were 0-9 last fall, and only the last two games were close. Early indicators, though, are looking better.
I'm seeing a lot more hard work. Everybody's working hard. We know that we had a rough season last season, and everybody wants to get better. We're out here working as hard as we can, improving the team.
We're definitely doing better than last year. There's more people coming out. Last year we probably had half or somewhere around there of all the people. There's a lot of youngsters.
Former Gophers star quarterback Ricky Foggy enters his second season as Pirates coach and wants to emphasize quality instead of quantity when it comes to the playbook.
We're going to get back to the basics. We cut the defensive scheme down, we cut down the offensive scheme, and just going to get the set amount of plays and just try to hammer those out and make this team, more competitive.
Among the key returners for the Pirates, quarterback Jake Tanner, who started much of last season. Running back and linebacker Antoine Scott, who missed most of last year with a knee injury. Offensive lineman Alex Winkleman. Linebacker Marcus Sumo, and guard linebacker Andrew Gagne. Running back, defensive back Rufus Saley is coming off a torn ACL in the basketball season and hopes to be able to play toward the end of September. There is some talent on the perimeter.
We're a pretty athletic football team. We got a lot of speed in the skill position. I think the tough deal that we're having is finding some big guys on the interior offense and defensive line.
The Pirates know it's unlikely that they'll suddenly zoom to the top of the standings this fall, but they do see improvement and have some goals on and off the field.
My goal is to get more than 3 wins and have players, seniors from now, go to college. Even if they don't have to play football, they still go to college.
Good job, Ed. Here is the rundown on the Pirates. They didn't win a game last season, although they did nearly upset Orono in the playoffs. 6 starters are back on each side of the ball for Ricky Foggy. The Pirates open at Anoka next Thursday, the 30th. Tuesday, starting at 4, we look at the Armstrong Falcons. As we've shown you over the past several weeks, there are a lot of triathletes of all experience levels in the Northwest suburbs. And there is a triathlon in the area this weekend that's proven to be a big hit since starting up 2 years ago. On this week's Give It a Try, we meet the founder of the Maple Grove Triathlon and some of her fellow tri-enthusiasts. For Maple Grove Triathlon founder and race director Lindsay Kerhayetz, it's been a great thrill bringing the event to the town she grew up in.
The event now is entering its 3rd season, and I think to go from 500 athletes in 2010, 800 last year, now we're up to hosting 1,200 athletes in Weaver Lake Park. It certainly speaks to, I think, the sport itself and people wanting to get involved in fitness, and I'm just really, really honored that we can provide that here in Maple Grove.
Lindsay's made tons of great connections in the triathlon community, including Luis Leonardo, a native of Guatemala who was a top-level competitor in that country before relocating to the Twin Cities. He competes and coaches.
I see it like a way of life. Sometimes it's about being competitive and trying to place, but it's really a personal challenge, and I just love that.
Here's a little secret that gives beginning triathletes hope from Maple Grove race co-director Vahid Sadrazada, who took up the sport 4 years ago to get back into shape. It's not unusual to not feel like training some days.
It's still, to this day, 4 years after I started in triathlon, I have to pick myself up every morning, just like everybody else, and I have to grab that cup of coffee and say, you know what, today is going to be a great training day. I've got to do it not only for myself, but to motivate other people.
The Maple Grove Triathlon was voted one of the 5 best in the state, and one big thing it's brought to the area is reaching new people. Beginners can and do compete alongside world-class competitors here.
It's very cool. People are so excited to finish an event like this. Just the training that goes into it, they're very proud of themselves.
There's a lot of people who might be intimidated to say, you know, I can't do a triathlon, but we want them to say, yes, I can do it, and I want to do it in Maple Grove. It's each year we bring in hundreds of brand new triathletes.
There are 2 distances in this USA Triathlon sanctioned event, Olympic and Sprint. The tri begins and ends at Weaver Lake Park with the Olympic distance race starting at 7:30 Saturday morning. The triathlon is full and no more entries are being taken, but come on out to watch and cheer. And next week we'll have our final Give It a Try of the summer. So they're hoping for great weather, but it's fantastic turnout this year.
And encouraging to hear them say, you know, they even have to drag themselves out. Right?
I know, they're not supermen and women, so it does give us hope, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That'll get you in shape.
Thanks, Jay. Still ahead, pictures that are worth at least 1,000 words.
We'll be right back.
And finally, a look at Maple Grove through the eyes of some winning photographers.
The city is announcing the winners of the Maple Grove Moments Photo Contest, and here's a look at some of the top prize winners in 4 different categories. Jennifer Bourne won in the People category with a picture titled Sleepy Little Pumpkin. Look at that guy. Rich Mold took a first place in the Community section with a photo called Here's My Super Soaker. In the Nature category, Stephanie Sauer won with this picture of a Minnesota favorite, cattails. When it comes to pets and animals, Connie Garrettson won with a picture called The Majesty of the Eagle. The first place winners each get $100 for their efforts, and all the entries are on display at the Government Center in Maple Grove through the middle of September. I'm always amazed. They can take some good pictures.
Good looking pictures,
yeah.
Yep.
That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner is coming up next.